Hey everybody, this is Laura DiCarlo of Career Directors International, and we're talking all things ultimate success for resume writers and career coaches. I am super excited to have you joining me here today. Listen, if you're coming in through Facebook, it's really important. You're going to need to give Facebook permission. Go to chat.restream.io/FB and you can give Facebook permission to show me your name. Because otherwise, if you're asking me questions or answering things in the chat, I'm not going to know who you are. All right, we're currently streaming live on CDI's Facebook group, our YouTube channel, and our LinkedIn page. So I'm excited. I'll be checking the chat to see who's here with you. But before we go into that, I need to introduce you to my co-host. Yes, my feline beast, Tallulah Ka. She does like to make an appearance on anytime she hears my voice. She starts crying and will try to force her way into the video. She's probably going to prove me wrong today, but you have been warned. Listen, if you've got a pet, I would love to hear about it. Go ahead and drop it in the chat, pet name, type of pet. I'm super excited to meet you and your pets. So, this is going to be our regular Wednesday show here at 3:45 p.m. Eastern, where I will be empowering resume writers and career coaches to up their game with advanced technical skills, business shortcuts, and strategies to succeed with ease. One of the things we're going to be focusing on this season is learning what's working and what's not in the career industry business today. We're going to tap into the results of CDI's recent critical industry analysis survey. And if you don't know me yet, my goal is to become your not so secret superpower. Because over at Career Directors International, our members build elite skill sets to help job seekers land faster while they themselves work less, laugh more, and create the rewarding life they want. All right, I'm not seeing any pets in the chat, so we will go ahead and move on. And let me share with you today, our question is AI really hurting resume writers and career coaches? So, let's see, we got a Facebook user. I'm a pet mom to Baxter, a Forio. I'm going to butcher this. Coton de Tulare male. I'm going to have to hear more about that later. All right, so before I get into the subject for today, I want to challenge you to do 3 things. First, let me know who you are. So go ahead and drop in the chat #newbie. If this is your first time experiencing me, you're not in the CDI Facebook group or a CDI association member. And if you are one of my members or one of my tribe members, go ahead and put a #soups for superhero. That's career superhero. I'm super excited to have you join me. And again, don't forget, if you're on Facebook, can't see your name, go to chat.restream.io/FB so that I can know who I'm talking to. And if you're watching the replay, please use #replay so that I know when you're looking at it when I'm reviewing. Okay, second, if you have questions, be sure to put them in the chat. I will be monitoring it along with my colleague Lynn, who is here supporting me on the back end. Oh, and I guess she says yo is year old, so 4-year-old. I must be nervous to have not caught the 4YO is years old. Oh, too funny. Okay, third thing. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss when I go live every week. Again, Wednesday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern, where I'm going to be sharing all these great results and information on what's working, what's not for career services businesses today, and whether we should worry about OpenAI. All right, so let's get started. We are talking about, is AI really hurting resume writers and career coaches? And, I'm very much an off the cuff kind of person, but I have slides. I'm going to have slides for the next several lives, so I want you to bear with me. If you know me, I love to talk and share information. Sharing slides, a little bit harder. It kind of feels monotonous, but you're going to want to see this data. So here we go. Let me share my my screen and my first slide. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and let me just get that overlay off of there. All right, perfect. So you see we're looking at use of OpenAI tools by career services businesses in 2023. And oh my goodness, they are even small on my screen. So hold on a second here. Let me expand what I'm looking at. Okay, we've got basically what I'm considering two quadrants happening here of how they are being used by career practitioners today. We've got the resume and document development, so we're seeing, high percentages in things like keyword analysis. Makes sense, it's easy, low-hanging fruit. And then we're seeing on the other end of the spectrum, marketing, using for your business. And hey Jan, welcome to my stream. Hey Debbie from Des Moines, I'm so glad you're here with me. All right, so we're talking current use of OpenAI tools. The thing I want to point out on this one before we get into some of the more interesting specifics are that 26% of participants in the survey who said they're not using AI at all. And I'm gonna withhold saying anything about it, but I'm going to encourage you and talk more about this as we move forward, how you're just really going to want to embrace this tool. And just to be clear, so that we're on the same page, when I say OpenAI, I'm talking about things like ChatGPT and Bard, the free versions that job seekers have access to, that so many resume writers and career coaches and other entrepreneurs and service businesses are concerned is going to replace them. It's not. Okay. So why don't you tell me in the chat, how are you using OpenAI tools today, if at all, in your career service business? I'm going to jump to the next slide while hopefully you're sharing some things with me, and I will come back and take a look in a moment. So next topic we surveyed on in this arena is OpenAI use goals by career service businesses in 2023. So this is how those who are just getting started or using consistently, where they would like to go. And we're seeing very similar numbers, just elevated. Keyword analysis stayed steady at the top, but we saw things like profile strategy and cover letters rise up a little bit. Marketing, we're seeing the whole spectrum of marketing, blogging, personal branding, communications, all rising. And these are all bona fide ways to consider, using OpenAI in your practice. So I'm not saying anything in the chat about how anyone is using it. How about how you'd like to be using it? Go ahead and drop that in the chat now. If you want to share, I would love to know. And we will move to our next slide. Oh, you know what? I need to go back because I neglected the most important thing here, and that is 11% of participants, these are resume writers and career coaches, said they don't plan to use AI. Now, I hear a lot about, using this, not using this, and I just want to stress, I don't suggest that as your best option. First of all, it's not going away. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw somebody saying, I'm boycotting it, as if, your stand is going to make it go away. The reality is you, even if you choose not to use it, you need to be educated about it so that you can understand, how job seekers do a disservice to themselves when they try to use it. Because quite honestly, they're no more prepared to use ChatGPT and related services than they were to maximize the use of a generic resume template, the thing that so many resume writers were sure was going to put them out of business like almost 2 decades ago, and has done nothing because garbage in is garbage out. ChatGPT and these tools are exactly the same. If you don't know how to gather the information from the job seeker like a professional does, then you're going to get out generic responses and data that looks like everyone else. Sure, it might seem more tailored, but it just means you might appear qualified at the forefront, but have nothing that tickles the employer and helps you stand out. It's still generic. Further, these tools are going to make your life easier. I have played with them, and everyone has privy to these on CDI's free stuff page. That's careerdirectors.com/free stuff. We have ChatGPT and Bard prompts that I have used and played with and shared, what works and how to use these things for certain functions. It's a fabulous tool if, say, you have a questionnaire and a job seeker writes a giant book answer and you're like, oh my gosh, this is all generic and it's so much to get through. How am I going to break this down into 3 or 4 bullets? The good news is you can feed them into one of these OpenAI tools and ask it, create 3 challenge, action, results focused bullets from this information, or make this as tailored to this job description as possible. You're always going to have to rewrite it. You're always still going to have the client's metrics and success stories and specifics, but it can cut down on your job immensely. And for people who are CDI Association members, I will be sharing prompts that I have that will let you synthesize through one of these OpenAI tools your personal voice, the voice you use when you do videos and blog posts, and get your specific persona so that when it comes to wanting to write a post for LinkedIn or create a blog post, you're able to throw information at it. Like I might use the transcript of an old 15-minute video and I'll say, using this persona, write me a 2,000 character LinkedIn post with hashtags. Yes, I do have to rewrite it, but it's an exciting feeling because it does a lot of the hard work for me. It gives me ideas, it prompts me. So lean into this. It's really very much your virtual assistant that will pay off. And if nothing else comes out of it, you're going to understand how you can educate prospects about why they don't want to waste their time on it and how they can augment what you help them with to take next steps without you. It can be a service you're charging for on how to do these things. So don't put your head in the sand. Don't think it's going away. Play with it. All right, let's see. Facebook user says, I haven't used AI, but have been playing around with it for the past 2 weeks. That's awesome. Another Facebook user, I will use it for research. Wendy, first time here. I use AI for interview coaching questions. All right, fantastic. Let's see here. I think there's something else hiding. Okay. Oh no, just my Facebook reminder from Lynn letting you know to click that link in the chat for chat.restream.io/Facebook so that I can see who I am talking to. Okay, next slide. This is areas career services businesses want help with around AI in 2023. So we kept this pretty concise with just 4 areas, and then we had some NAs and some others. But as you can see here, we had ties. Actually, the 3, they're all pretty similar when you get down to it. 49% of respondents knowing when to use AI and when not to. Creating and finding effective prompts to use. 47% educating prospects on why AI can't do what a professional can, and then 40% on deciding which tools to use. I don't know if you can hear that, but Tallulah is howling away in the background. I told you it would happen. Oh boy. Why don't you drop in the chat areas you would like help on, just so I have an idea where I can focus my future prompts and things that I share in our free resources and in our association member resources. Let's see. A LinkedIn user says, after dragging my feet, I've used it about 4 times now and can see the value when used like any other resource. You wore me down, LOL. I love it. I do have several quotes from members talking about, I wouldn't have touched it if it hadn't been for you. So please, please dive into the prompts and the feedback I've provided so far, because dipping your toe in, it doesn't have to be painful, and nobody has to see it but you. And there are free versions of ChatGPT and Google Bard. Honestly, I really like Google Bard. I love ChatGPT, but I really like Google Bard because it will give you 3 versions of every response, which is pretty neat. All right, the 4th slide, the final slide. Before I get it, let's just see. Robbie says AI scours the entire internet, right? Even the free versions. So Google Bard, gosh, I haven't looked at this in a little while, probably a few months, so I'm almost afraid I'm going to misstep what I say. It used to be that ChatGPT only had data through a few years back, and that's in one of my posts saying when it stopped, when I was comparing the two and the different things that they did. But I read recently that it's now updated. Google Bard had more that it was covering. I'd have to go back and do my homework to see exactly where we are today. But you did make me think of an important point, and that is, and you'll see this in my resources, that these tools do lie. They do make things up. They will come up with numbers out of thin air. They will create fake cited sources. So you do have to do your due diligence and read everything that is written. Don't just take it as this is all correct and I should use it. This is like your prompt. It's a jumpstart tool to get you started and help you, but don't take it as gospel ever. Okay. Yeah, Robbie said it stopped in 2021. Yes, that was the year. I don't know. I was thinking 2019, and I'm like, how could that even be possible that far back? But I did read that it had caught up, I think in the last week or so, but don't quote me on that. All right. The 4th slide is what I know prompted me to even do this critical industry analysis survey in the first place through Career Directors International. And I know it's what you want to know, because all the time, and sorry to be teasing you, I'll change in just a second, but all the time I will see forum posts and group posts where, someone will be having a slow period. Hills and valleys are very common for entrepreneurs, and they're not always at the same point for everyone, so it can make you feel extra nervous if you're having one and everybody else seems to be doing good. But it seems like a knee-jerk reaction now that I'll see, do you think it's AI? That's how the post will end. Do you think it's AI? And other people maybe not doing so good will be very quick to jump in and go, oh yeah, it's AI. So, you start to see that enough, you begin to wonder, is everybody doing bad? Is AI actually killing, these services, businesses? I wanted to see what our members had to say, and they're all over the world and all across the spectrum for what they charge and the different kind of clients they see. And I think that you're going to be very excited to see their perceived belief around whether AI is impacting their businesses. So here is that data. So this is the perceived negative impact of AI on career services businesses in 2023. And for scaling purposes, when we asked the question in the survey, it only had a choice between 1 and 10. And I realized that was kind of unfortunate when I was looking at the data afterwards. We've got like 40 hours of time into evaluating and analyzing the data. And you're going to see us mixing and matching to give you profiles of what's working, what's not working, and why it's not AI that's the problem, but yet luckily it's things you can actually change in your business if your business is declining or it's staying the same and not, growing, in terms of being able to raise your prices because of inflation and growing skills, or make more money. So very exciting stuff. And this is where it starts, being able to show you that most of your colleagues feel that AI is not having an impact at all on their business. As you can see here from, I stopped. I rambled away from the fact that one was really no impact at all. As you can see there on the scale, is a scale of 0 to 100, with 0 being no fear. But the only number you could pick lowest was 1. So we had to do a 1 meant 0 to 10%, and so on and so on. So it's quite possible that this 32.1% in the 0 to 10% all felt it had 0 impact, but we don't have that data specifically. But still, isn't this, I mean, I would love to see in the chat hashtag few, PHEW, or hashtag relief, or whatever hashtag you want to throw at me that says how nice it is to see that AI is not a culprit behind what is happening. But hey, I get it. If your business seems to be struggling, it's, don't blame AI. It doesn't mean that AI might not play a role in it, but you can get ahead of it using it to save you time so that you're working less hard, by having AI as your sidekick, your, as I call it, virtual assistant. But I promise you, in our next lives, I am going to be talking about things like the profiles of what is really impacting a business. Things like, are you changing your marketing to be up to date with what works today with today's consumer? Because things have dramatically changed in the last few years, and we need to change and adapt along with that. Absolutely, for sure. So I've got lots of great data around the profile of a successful practice, and interestingly, the commonalities of the things that you can change so that you can overcome any shortfalls that you might be experiencing. So really positive stuff, and I can't wait to share it with you. But to recap, so AI, not the enemy. Oh, thanks for the hashtag few, Robbie. I appreciate it. So it's not your enemy. It doesn't have to be your enemy. It's not going to put a stop to what you do for a living, where your passion and your heart lies in making a difference to job seekers anytime soon. Better yet, it's going to make your life easier once you start to embrace it yourself. So only mistake you can make is avoiding it completely. And of course, I think the other mistake is not coming to my next lives, because as I said, I'm going to be revealing all this great data that profiles what is working and what isn't, so that you can get in line and bring your business into continued success, thriving today. So on that note, let me tell you how you can tune in for more. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, whatever channel you're on, click whatever counts so that you'll know when we are going live. Better yet, just add it to your calendar, Wednesday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Okay, if you want more help and support, we've got you covered. I promise CDI Association members, I will share with you in the next couple days that awesome prompt for figuring out your voice persona so that everything that these OpenAI programs write for you sounds just like you and just needs tweaks. But I've still got lots of goodies for everybody else. I want you to get super, and you can do so over on the CDI website. That's careerdirectors.com. And as you see here on the yellow ticker on the bottom, /free stuff. When you go over there, you are going to find options for joining our community. We have a free Facebook community on Facebook for CDI. We're doing daily activities where you can network and meet others and participate. And yes, the link that I just mentioned is in the chat. You should all hopefully be able to see it and click it. Or again, just go to careerdirectors.com and click on free stuff. But the community, lots of great stuff happening. We are doing these lives in there. We have daily participation posts. I'm sharing tips and strategies this month on pricing, packaging, and closing sales. On that free stuff page, you're also going to find lessons. We have a variety of expert lessons, video tutorials, best practice tip sheets that you can grab, get a taste test of CDI, You'll even see a testimonial on the page from one of our association members who shares he built a 6-figure business before he even became a member, just using what we give away for free. So imagine what's on the inside. You'll also find a quiz. Now, the quiz is only a 1-minute activity to find out the top thing that's blocking you from building a 6-figure business. But I think it's crucial because not only are you going to get feedback from me on what your one thing is so that you can focus in on it, but I'm going to provide you with a curated list of the free resources so you know exactly what to focus on first to help you get the greatest ROI, growth, and success. And then finally, reminder, subscribe, like, be there, show up, meet with me next time, every time, because I've got great stuff to share for you. So with that, I don't see anything else in the chat. I want to just say thanks for joining me on my very first live. I will see you next time. And until then, let's all fly higher.